Hey everyone, welcome to Clicks to Connection, Digital Wellness, Communication and Collaboration at Work. I am so glad to be in front of you today. If you are in the chat, let me know you're here with an emoji where you're watching from. If you're watching this on replay, welcome. I have a question for you before I get started, and that is take a look at your phone. And this is the only time I ask you to look at your phone, and other times we will be present for what I'm sharing today. Is look at your phone and see how many unread notifications you have or unread emails. It could be notifications, and take a moment to think about how that um, feels in your body. So hopefully, the things you learned today can help you relieve some of that stress, and focus on your digital wellness. Everyone talks about mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, but my whole thing is about digital wellness, and it's allowed me to show up and be present and be here with you today. If you don't know me, my name is Marissa Callie. I'm an event producer and strategist, specializing in digital wellness, practical AI adoption, and conscious leadership. I produce workshops, retreats, and one on one consulting around those topics. So I'm happy you are here. The three things that we will learn today are digital body language, how that shows up in your emails and your communications, and how it makes you feel, how to communicate with clarity using AI apps. Obviously, you've heard of ChatGPT, but I'm going to introduce a few others that might actually help you communicate a little bit better and remind you of the ones that we already may have heard of. And then I'll also give you some tips on reducing digital overwhelm. So, before we get started, I'd like for you to, I know you were looking at your phone and answering in the chat. Thank you all for interacting. And also, shout out to my producer, Toya, who's assisting here from behind the scenes. I will tell you that she's great, a wonderful partner, and she can help you produce your shows just like she's helping me now. We work on several projects together over the last 5 years. So, yes, her information will be available at the end of the show. All right, so you've looked at your phone, you maybe now are settling in. I just ask you to put your phone now on Do Not Disturb and be present here with me. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is this one thing. I'm pretty confident about saying this. This isn't about shaming people in how you use your phone and how you are connecting with other people. Um, Awareness is always the first step to intentional change. So, all of the information that you're getting here is just information or how you're going to take that back. It's not necessarily something where I'm telling you what to do, I'm only suggesting and guiding. So, awareness is the first step towards an intentional change. All right. So, how many of you have read Digital Body Language? If you have, put your comment in the chat. I will see that. This is one of the books that I read with the Event Pros Book Club about 3 years ago. And I realized that I had been doing a lot of the same things over the last 4 or 5 years as I navigated the online world and communicated with people from around the world. And the three main concepts in this book that you could learn from this are trust totally, communicate clearly, and oh, I have my notes up here, and of course they're disappearing right now in this moment. But there's four main concepts, and I think that if you read this book and you haven't read it, this will give you the information you need to get to the next step in terms of how you show up online and how your digital body language comes across. All right, I have them. It's right here, right in front of me. I just had to look down. Value visibly, communicate carefully, collaborate confidently, and trust totally. The last one, trust totally, is one of the things that I think is so important when we're building trust online. um, is making sure that how you're showing up is something that comes from internally. You can't really trust others all the time, but trust how you're feeling, trust totally how you're feeling, and show up confidently in that thing. Thank you, Sarah and Gabby. Um, to be read. I think TBR means to be read list. Yeah, it's on my desk. I love it. It's a great book. And actually, when we were reading it throughout, I can't remember, it was 2022 or 2023. I reached out to the author on LinkedIn and told her that we were reading it in our book club, and she was grateful for the outreach. But I tried to get her to come into our live Zoom to talk about the book, but we didn't get her. But I love this book, and I think it will help you immensely. Um, when we talk about awareness, these are the four things that can kind of really shift how you communicate and how your body language is coming across: tone, timing, emoji, and punctuation. Now, these are all natural things of how we've communicated online, how we send emails, how we're sending chats. But these all factor into how your body language comes across. And I will cover another tool and how you can analyze that. Actually, there's a few, both audibly and integrated into your browser. But those are four things that you should think about when you are clicking around and connecting online. Um, all right, so let's play a game. And Toya, you can help me out here. Oh, Sarah, you're in Washington State. I didn't know that you were all the way over there. So thank you. Good morning to you. Um, and Jen also here from Tennessee. And keep commenting in the chat. We will have Q&A at the end if you have specific questions. So this is the game that I love. Let's play a game. What does this emoji mean to you? So I'm going to go through a series of emojis that obviously can be misinterpreted depending on who you're talking to. And I just want to point out that as you're answering this in the chat, that everyone can have a different answer for that. So just be mindful of emojis you're using online and reacting to messages. I outreached to someone, made a suggestion in a chat, and they laughed at it. Now, I went to clarify to make sure, but I thought they were laughing at me initially. And then I was like, let me double check. And it was more so like a nervous laugh, sarcastic laugh, like, okay, that's kind of a silly idea. But you never know how that could turn into something bigger if you don't clarify what it is. So the first one that I want to show is which you all will love, is the upside down face. So let me know what this one means to you in the chat, and I will talk about what it means to me. So I don't know if we align on this, but when I put that in a chat or a message, it could be a casual chat. I am really kind of upside down. It's not saying that it's towards anyone. It's more so like, oh my gosh, things are just wild and upside down. um, there are ways for this to be interpreted as playful sarcasm, awkward discomfort. I'm sure you've had many moments like this where you're just like, okay, I don't know the answer to that, and then this emoji, right? um, on the route to crazy. Yes, Sean. Yes, on the route to crazy. um, Other people have said that this emoji can also be passive aggression. So always be mindful of when you're using this emoji. And the next one is pretty self explanatory when you come to this one. Could be, I don't like that answer, thoughtful consideration, skepticism, curiosity. All the things can kind of come from this emoji. What is going on? Good one, Sarah. And then this one has often been misinterpreted two different ways as praying. Okay, I'm praying for you, pray thoughts and prayers, or pretty please, hoping. But I've heard online that some people, oops, there's my alarm for gratitude. So it's 11:11 where I'm at. Say three things you're grateful silently to yourself, and let's get back to the game. I 11 sorry, I'm getting off track with 11:11. People have said that this is a high five, right? Okay, so it means different things to different people, right? And I think that it's one of the most I was reading a stat yesterday, and it said 83% can misinterpret emojis in conversation. So it can and will be true. So not everyone speaks the same emoji. Um, and then my favorite one, which is this one. I use this a lot if we chat and text, or I'm reacting to a post on a Slack message or in email. I even have this as my emoji before my name on LinkedIn. Now, I use this one as the universe, right? Like I am the universe and everything around me is good energy. But some people will use this as dizzy. um, they will use it as, this is just in the stars, shooting stars. So just be mindful. I'm just making note that this is, oh, I like that emphasis. Um, this is everyone has their own interpretation. And my advice here is when you use emojis in conversation to make sure that you're adding words. Because when you add words, there's no doubt. So now you know that if I use that, it's not because I'm dizzy, it's because I'm, bringing the good energy here. So you all know about that. All right. While we get on to the next thing, I'm going to have us take a deep breath and do the moment of digital wellness. Toya. You can go ahead and play the video, Toya. Alrighty. So we talked about how to communicate, and now we want to talk about the apps that can help you communicate better. The first one that you all know, it is Grammarly. So I use Grammarly all the time. It's attached in my web browser. It's on my phone. But what I really love about Grammarly is the summary emails. It's going to give you a summary of your tone and how you're communicating in your emails, in your communication. And you can see mine is confident, curious, informative, informal, appreciative, direct, informal. But I also wish that there was another one that said funny, because I think I'm pretty funny, but maybe that's more in person, right? Um, okay, why am I going backwards? No, forward. Okay, ChatGPT. You guys have all used this. What I like to use ChatGPT sometimes if I have a difficult conversation or I just don't have the brain space to write a full email that's formulated, I'm going to use ChatGPT as my communication coach. In this sense, I used it to communicate to a vendor that I was working with through my HOA and go with another company, which was tough to say, but I've now gotten better and not use ChatGPT. Draftsmith, another app that if you not have you not heard of it, this will integrate into Word if you are a Word person. This drafts your engaging and empathetic your emails into engaging and empathetic reader-friendly content. And that also is not emails. It could be your documents. It could be process documents, things that you're sharing internally, letter of intent, a strongly worded email that you need to send to someone who's rejected you. This is a built-in attachment to Word if you have Word, but they also have an online ability to do that. And this is an example of something that's very direct. Send me the report by the end of the day, or not even end of the day. Send the report by the end of the day. So I put this into Chat GPT and said, make it more empathetic, make it more collaborative. And look what it came back with me. Could you share the report when you get a chance? Happy to help if you need anything. This is evoking collaboration. You want to work with people. You don't want to be too curt. I am guilty of that, being that I lived 10 years in New York City, and sometimes that's how we communicate, is very curt and direct. So this is just another way, an example of using the AI tools that are already there for us, and we can communicate a little bit and collaborate better, communicate better, and collaborate better. All right. So um, the next thing that I want to talk about is how you can, this is kind of a framework that you can utilize when you are communicating. Make sure that your message is clear, make sure that your confidence level is there, and make sure that you are using this confident, clear communication in order to authentically connect with people. This goes back to digital body language. It allows you to build trust in relationships and make sure that you're showing up and living in a world where we're all behind the screens and communicating, and it's your wellness is attached to that. So hopefully that connects with you through the screen and through the emails. Again, clarity, confidence, and connection. Think about how your communication does that. The next thing I want to talk about is your how you're going to show up on camera. Now, you guys can see that I am centered in screen. There's light on my face. Um, and we have always been showing up on camera, especially the last 5 years, but people are still getting it wrong. Um, so I'm going to just give you quick tips. This is an example of one of my clients who we were, I think, celebrating a milestone live stream. So we had some confetti on the screen, but you could see her background is well lit, her face is well lit, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but my audio is really good. So the things that I would say are really important for showing up on camera is make sure that you have light on your face, you have good audio, good connection is required for that, and mute when you're not talking. The worst part is when you're getting on a call and you think that everyone's going to chat. And I know you guys are all in the chat, so thank you for interacting here. And I didn't require you to be on camera, but I appreciate the interaction. But you're muted, so we're not having any extra things, extra distractions behind the scenes. And again, don't do this. A lot of people think that their view of a room is what shows up on camera, but you can see that this person's camera is facing the window, so it washes out his face. Can't see his face. And in this case, I would actually just tell this person to turn around, and hopefully that'll do better. My desk is in the middle of my office. So you see my background is my wall, and then the middle of my office is my desk, and then I have space over there. So I moved that because I wanted the light to come in on my face versus having artificial light always, or some drowning out of a superficial light. But it helps, and also now I get some sun sometimes. All right. I have a question for you as far as meetings go. I know you guys are here on a Friday, so I appreciate that. And if anyone knows me, I reduce my screen time big time on Friday. So I'm happy to be here and sharing the things that I love. Um, my question to you, and Toya, if you can put this up, what makes meetings feel most draining? Um, what is that feeling like? What do you think is the most draining part of your meetings when you're going to meetings? Is it too many meetings? Is it too long of a meeting? Is it not having an intention for it? Um, these are some quick tips that can actually help you show up better in meetings. I'm just going to put them up here. Jam packed agenda. Oh, yes, we know this, Sarah, for you. Um, if you are not able to control this, Sarah, I would maybe see if you can have, like, before the month starts or before your week starts, maybe just schedule in some 5-minute breaks or 10-minute breaks. I don't know if that's allowed. I know you're in corporate, so I don't know what the restrictions are, but maybe doing that before you think that they might show up. One of the things I did before the start of the year is I put Friday blocked out on my calendar and I marked it as my day. I have Mondays, and if you're a solopreneur or work for yourself, I put, time blocks in on Monday that are like 15-minute breaks. If you use Calendly or some scheduling tool, you can set the breaks between meetings to be 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Now with note taker tools, sometimes you don't need to like take a break, make notes, and send more emails right after your meetings. But one of the things that I think is we're not proactively building in breaks into our schedule because we know that they'll be filled up. Um, so I think that's one thing that we can do and take away from this, and my suggestion from this call, from this wellness session, from this live learning session. As far as meetings go, these are 4 things that I want to make sure that you check and being mindful of your meetings is ask first, is this meeting necessary? I've been trying to meet with someone that is 6 hours away from me in the UK, and we connected on WhatsApp at the end because it was kind of just like we couldn't find a time that worked. And by the time that they were ready to talk, it was in the thick of my meeting time. So we always ask, is the meeting necessary or can we just chat on WhatsApp or in Slack or however else? Um, the second thing is to invite those who actually need to be there. Is everyone there for a reason? Now, sometimes when you're collaborating, you have to invite everyone. But now with note takers, maybe it is okay for you to have a note taker in there and not actually have the person present, especially on projects that are way far out. I always ask if my note taker is allowed to attend, because then I get the notes in my email, and then we reduce that time for going back and forth to trying to find a time that works for everyone. Sean, you mentioned this when there isn't a clear agenda. Um, my advice is if that's not happening, ask for it or set it from the beginning. If you're in charge of the meeting, make sure. And I'll use this as an example when I was connecting with Gabby initially, and you might remember this, Gabby. I was had been wanting to get Gabby on the phone for a while, and I wrote down what I was intending to chat about because I knew that we would chat for a long time about all the things. And whether it's a project you're working on or whatever, I think that it's really important to send a pre-meeting agenda or your intention, so that way you're guiding the conversation from the get-go and you're not just showing up and saying, okay, so what do we talk about? um and also challenge yourself to putting the right time on the agenda or, in your calendar. I had a chat with another colleague a couple weeks ago, and they challenged me to do 10-minute meetings with people, especially the ones who are trying to pitch you something or, you feel that this is something, later on down the line. Try to do smaller, shorter meetings if you feel that there's one, no clear agenda, or you're just trying to, get to the next step. This will help you get the meeting done quickly and mindfully. You're showing respect for people's time and attention, and you could be fully present because you only have 10 minutes. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is my brick device. Anyone hear of this brick? Now, this is we're going to talk about digital overwhelm right now. So, my brick is on my fridge right now. Not right now. It's in my hand, but it's on my fridge usually. And when I brick my device, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, and a few other apps. I have 5 apps blocked when I brick my device. And when I try to pull up those apps when my device is bricked, I cannot. It says this is a distraction. So this is a really cool tool because everyone's been using, the focus mode and do not disturb. If you don't already use them, use them. But I was finding myself that even though I had focus mode and even though I had do not disturb, I was turning those modes off of my phone and still using those apps and getting distracted. So this is a good way to actually have it intentionally done. The only downside is if you leave your house and you actually need to use one of those apps while you're gone, um, you can't unbrick your device until you're back with your brick. And I would put it in a strategic spot. So, like, mine's on the fridge, so I can't scroll in bed. I can't scroll on the couch. But if you leave the house, then you're kind of have to wait till you come home. There is a way to emergency unlock it, but you only get 5 of those, so use them wisely. And this, I think they have a Valentine's Day special right now, so check it out. I will say that it's changed my way of using apps, and I know Toya, you were wanting to learn about this, so yeah, definitely check it out. You can see how it's used there on the screen. I mentioned do not disturb and focus mode. So focus mode is something on a Google phone, and also I believe there's another well-being way mode on your Apple phone. Focus mode can mute apps at a specific time. I also have bedtime mode on my phone. Sometimes I have bedtime mode super early. I think I had it at 8 o'clock, and I was in Phoenix, which is 2 hours behind, and my phone was going going into bedtime mode at 6 p.m. But it really allows you to focus and just super focus on who's right in front of you and also being present in the conversations that you have. And here are some ways to start your day and utilize digital wellness throughout your day. Try analog mornings. If you don't have a brick device, you could always put your phone up on your counter or just outside your door if you need it. I know, Gabby, you got little ones, so you might need it for your apps, but thinking of the old school alarms, I know a lot of people are going towards analog mornings so that they're not grabbing their phone and immediately scrolling or using their phones. Paper journaling for reflection. This is one of the things that I do when I'm at big events and where I'm super busy back to back. It allows me to, one, imprint the stuff that I'm writing in my memory, but also it's a nice way to reflect when you look back on it. And then, like I mentioned before, the 15-minute blank space in your calendar daily. Let's remember, this is just a reminder, that connection happens in the micro moments. If you've been to any of the events with me, Sarah, I know you can see that also at some of the events that we've been to, having the micro moments where you're just pausing or you're acknowledging before you talk, personalizing before you post. Sometimes just a short pause will actually help you. And if you look at the comment, I do have a question for you all. What's one habit you could release this week to create calm before connection? Um, if you have one, please add it into the chat and I would love to share. So, Gabby, I have no choice but to do analog because my 2-year-old requires 100% attention first thing in the morning when she tells me her dreams. That takes about an hour. So that's a great way to connect with her. And Sean, reclaim AI puts decompressed time following meetings to protect your calendar. Yes. I think there's also another one, motion, which I talked about previously on my YouTube. If anyone has any questions, please add them in the chat. I will address them now. And thank you for interacting. Thanks, Sarah, for my great background. I love it. You'll have to visit sometime. I have a nice chair for you to sit in and do some business therapy if you'd like. All right. So again, what's one habit you could release this week to create calm before connection? If you want to add that into the chat, you are welcome to. And I just want to reiterate that the things that we learned today, we learned about how our digital body language comes across in our messages, our emails, our chats. We learned how to communicate with clarity and how we can use AI apps to help us communicate more clarity or confidently, clear, and with collaboration. And we can also be more mindful and present with our relationship with our phone and our devices by reducing digital overwhelm using physical devices like my brick or apps that we already have on our phone. So when you're clear, you show up confident. When you're confident, people connect with you. Again, this is not about perfection, it's about intention. So when you're investing in your digital wellness, you can build stronger relationships and more effective communication. And let's see, any questions? Naps bring a lot of, oh yeah, naps. Naps are great. Now I need a nap. I have some reduced imposter syndrome thoughts with positive self-dialogue. Yes, Jen, thank you. I am going to share my 10-minute daily reset for leaders, and I'll put that up on the screen. You can go ahead and scan the QR code. It's a quick form. You will get on my email list if you're already not on my email list. And I will send similar things throughout. I think I send about 2 emails a month, so it's not a lot. I'm not trying to overwhelm you all. If you want something more intentional, I just launched my WhatsApp community. It's called the Presence Vault. There'll be simple prompts to help you pause, reflect, and respond. We'll also talk about mindful digital communication. And obviously, it is a quiet space to realign with like-minded people. I have not yet launched into a big full community, so I think WhatsApp is the best place for me. And if you are watching this and we are not already connected, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and we can see those here. Let me just put those up in case you need to scroll that. And I thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time. I'm going to give you back 20 plus minutes more into your day. And thank you all for prioritizing your digital wellness this morning. And I will see you soon. Bye.